Here is the story of SUPARCO, Pakistan's space agency founded before ISRO, and why it failed. Pakistan has been plagued with problems for decades. Corruption, terrorism, political instability, and poverty are just some of them. But in 1961, they accomplished something that many Western nations hadn't done yet. They launched their first satellite into space. So how did this impoverished nation pull off such a feat? Well, it was thanks to one man's obsession with rockets. This man was named Munir Ahmad Khan, and he headed Pakistan's space agency called SUPARCO. In today's video, we will look at the story of Munir Ahmad Khan, his space program, and why it failed. If you don't know me already, I am the host. You are watching this channel. We've done similar videos about NASA, ISRO, and Roscosmos in the past. This video is part of our mini-series on the space programs of Asian countries. The story of Munir Ahmad Khan is an interesting one. He was born on April 12, 1913 in the city of Gujranwala, British India. His father worked as a police officer and his mother was a homemaker. From an early age, Munir showed interest in mechanical gadgets. After the partition of India in 1947, Munir, along with his family, moved to Karachi in Pakistan. In 1948, he joined the newly formed Pakistan Army. By trade, he was an artillery officer. He served in the Indo-Pakistani War of 1948 and rose through the ranks quite quickly. He eventually became the director of ordnance factories in 1957. In the beginning of 1950s, the U.S. wanted to develop a powerful weapon. It was called Operation Plowshare. The goal of this project was to develop a nuclear device which could be delivered by a large bomber like the B-29. Many scientists from all over the world were invited to work on this project. One of them was Dr. Samar. He was a Pakistani scientist who got his PhD from Stanford University. In the West, he was known for inventing the linear induction motor. But back in Pakistan, he was revered as the father of Pakistan's nuclear weapons program. When Dr. Samar returned to Pakistan, he was appointed as the chairman of Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. It was during this time that he met Munir Ahmad Khan. They instantly hit it off and bonded over their shared passion for science and engineering. Dr. Samar realized that there was no space program in Pakistan, so he suggested Munir to start one. This meeting proved to be a pivotal moment in the history of Pakistani space program. Munir knew very little about rocketry, but he was a quick learner. With the help of Samar, he managed to convince the army chief to let him establish a space program. In 1961, the Pakistan Space and Upper Atmosphere Research Committee, or SUPARCO, was established. The headquarters was located in Karachi, and a research facility was set up in a small town called Kamo. Most of the initial work was done by the army. They built launch facilities, test equipment, and the like. Pakistan had no money to build rockets, so the scientists decided to buy them instead. They purchased 3 French-made Viking rockets. These rockets were used to deliver satellites into low Earth orbit. Since these rockets were not powerful enough to reach geostationary orbit, Munir decided to build a more powerful rocket called Reentry Vehicle Launching Vehicle, or RLV. Munir appointed Dr. Samar as the scientific director of the space program. After some research, Samar concluded that Pakistan did not have the resources to build a rocket from scratch, so he decided to import more rockets. This time they bought 4 improved Viking missiles from France. The cost of each missile was approximately 5 million francs, or $1 million. With these missiles, Pakistan hoped to reach low Earth orbit. But once again, they weren't powerful enough for geosynchronous orbits. So Munir ordered more rockets. This time they bought 6 Scout Senior B rockets from the United States. These rockets were powerful enough to reach geosynchronous orbits, but they still lacked the power to reach geostationary orbits. What Pakistan needed was a heavy-lift rocket, but developing such a rocket would take years and tons of money. Instead, Munir decided to buy a ready-made solution. In 1968, they bought 2 Black Arrow rockets from Britain. These were the most advanced rockets in the world at that time. They could easily put payloads into geostationary orbit. With the help of Black Arrow, Pakistan launched its first satellite into space on April 1969. It was called Pakistan Bird 1. It was launched from West Range in Australia under the supervision of British experts. The satellite was developed by Canadian company Canadian Aircraft and Electronics. The launch vehicle and satellite were both covered with Islamic patterns. The satellite weighed around 69 kilograms, and its main purpose was to relay television signals. But Pakistan Bird 1 never reached its proper orbit. It failed soon after launch and became space junk. Despite the failure, the launch was considered successful because it marked the arrival of Pakistan as a spacefaring nation. Seeing the progress of SUPARCO, the government of Pakistan decided to invest in the space program. A new satellite was ordered from Canada and another Black Arrow rocket from Britain. The satellite was named Pakistan Bird 2 and the launch vehicle was named Behave 1. On October 1970, Pakistan Bird 2 was launched into space. Once again, it failed to reach its proper orbit. As it turned out, the rocket had some malfunctioning gyroscopes. This led to the first stage of the rocket veering off course. Eventually, both the satellite and the rocket became space debris. This would have been extremely embarrassing for Pakistan if the whole world was unfocused on the war between India and Pakistan. In 1971, India successfully launched its first satellite called Aryabh. This led to political pressure on Pakistan to launch its own satellite. It didn't happen until 1976, when Pakistan launched another satellite called Badalwan. This satellite was built by China and was basically a replica of China's first satellite. Once again, the satellite failed to reach its proper orbit. In total, Pakistan launched 5 satellites between 1969 and 1976. None of which ever reached their intended destination. Having spent all their money on foreign rockets and satellites, the space agency was now broke. Plus, the army was not willing to fund the space program anymore. And so in 1976, SUPARCO's operations were The government tried to revive the space program in 1980, but it was too late. By then, the West had imposed sanctions on Pakistan. The Americans had banned the export of launch vehicles and related technology. The French were also hesitant to sell their rockets to Pakistan. This left only one option for Pakistan, China. But China's Long March 1st rockets could not put satellites into geosynchronous orbit. So in 1988, Pakistan decided to collaborate with China on a new rocket. They started calling it the Pakistan Space Program. The Chinese helped build the rocket, and in return, Pakistan allowed them to test missiles at a facility near us. But once again, this collaboration did not last long. In 1991, Benazir Bhutto came into power. She nationalized the Pakistan space program and placed it under the Ministry of Defense. This move isolated the Chinese and the Pakistanis, never collaborated on a rocket again. Pakistan continued to launch satellites on foreign rockets well into the 21st century. But every time they did so, they faced technical difficulties. In 2017, Pakistan launched its latest and greatest satellite, Pakistan, sometimes 1 a.m. It was launched on a Chinese rocket called Long March 3C. But a few days after the launch, it was revealed that the satellite was not functioning properly. As of today, Pakistan does not have any active space program. There are multiple reasons behind the failure of SUPARCO, the main one being lack of funds. Every time SUPARCO managed to launch a satellite, it became bankrupt. Each launch required hundreds of millions of dollars. And since Pakistan had other pressing issues to deal with, the space program always took a backseat. Another reason was the focus on geosynchronous orbit. Had Pakistan focused on low Earth orbit, things might have turned out differently. Also, Pakistan was too dependent on foreign experts. Even today, Pakistan does not have the capacity to launch its own satellite. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.